get started here. Good week of prep, right? On a short week after a Monday night game. Thought the coaches did an excellent job. Coaches did an excellent job of kind of quick turnaround with the game plan. I thought the players really came in focused, ready to go. Did a good job of taking care of their bodies, recovering. But then also, Wednesday being that walkthrough, then get dialed in, get back to work, full speed work Thursday and Friday. So thought it was really good prep. Looking forward to the trip.
It's the perfect backdrop for Week 3 of NFL football, with the iconic view overlooking Puget Sound in the distance. Means you can only be in one place, and that's beautiful Seattle, Washington. And the Carolina Panthers are here to take on the Seattle Seahawks, still looking for their first win of the season after falling 20-17 to division rival the New Orleans Saints. Still the only winless team in the NFC South at 0-2. This week, more big blows to the roster as star linebacker Shaq Thompson is out indefinitely after having a successful surgery on a broken fibula suffered during that Monday night game. And as we learned on Friday, Bryce Young has also been ruled out. So lots of obstacles for the Panthers as they try to avoid a 3-game skid to start the season. Hello and welcome to the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN and 7:30 The Game. I'm Kevin Tolbert here at beautiful and loud Lumen Field here in Seattle, Washington, where the Carolina Panthers are set to take on the Seattle Seahawks today. Mission number 1, get the win to stop what could possibly be a 3-game slide for the Carolina Panthers. Now, Bryce Young has admittedly not taken full advantage of some of the deep passing opportunities in the first 2 games, and the Panthers' inability to run the ball more effectively against the Saints also had a big impact on the passing game. This season, Young has thrown for just 299 yards and 2 touchdowns. But as we mentioned, the team announced on Friday that Young will miss this week's game due to that ankle injury suffered on Monday night. Young did finish that game, but never indicated that he was having an issue. It surfaced on Tuesday. So for a Seattle defense that has given up more than 750 yards and more than 30 points in its first 2 games of the season, looked like what would be the perfect opportunity for Bryce Young to try and get a win and exploit some of those deep passing opportunities down the field that everyone's been looking for. Won't happen for Bryce Young this week. However, backup Andy Dalton will get the start today with Jake Luton as the backup.
I wish Bryce were in there getting this experience and had this opportunity, to kind of log this one in the books. But Andy's been in there before and, performed well there. But we're going in against a good team. It's early in the year. Everybody's going to be fired up. Their fans will be juiced up like they always are. But Andy's experience will definitely help. I feel good about Jake. He was here, for training camp. Very smart guy. Knows the offense. Good chemistry in the room. That's important too. So confident with Jake and glad he's here.
The biggest question mark for the Panthers offense, however, is the offensive line. Still in flux with Austin Corbett still recovering and Brady Christensen now on IR. The team has used a mix of Cade Mays and rookies Chandler Zavala and Nash Jensen to meet the needs at both guard positions. But there is an obvious lack of effectiveness as Bryce Young had to deal with being pressured at a very, very high rate. But today, the Carolina Panthers will have Andy Dalton at the helm. Now, Dalton is still fully healthy, but he also has experience here at Lumen Field. So dealing with the noise is something that will not likely be as much of a factor for him with the experience that he's had in this venue. But one of the other things is how much separation the receivers have been able to make. DJ Chark addressed that this week.
I hear people talk about separation all the time, but it's the NFL. Only time you getting real big separation is busted plays, things like that. I played my whole career, and I've been, making contested catches, my whole life. In the league, it's not really the separation that you would think when you're watching a college game. And it's possible, it's doable, but I think it's less about separation, more about just being dialed in and making the plays when it comes to you, whether it's somebody on you or not. That's the defense job. They get paid too. So it's really just about making the plays and going up, making the catches when you get those opportunities. And, that's what we're going to do. That's the plan, and that's, what we're going into Sunday with the mindset of.
So the Seahawks defense has been a little sketchy against the run this year. They've given up 4 touchdowns, which is in the top 5 in the league for touchdowns given up so far this season. But the Panthers have also struggled there as well. But hopefully for the Carolina Panthers, they'll get more of what they got the previous time here at Lumen Field. The last time these two teams met, the Panthers stared down the iconically loud Seahawks fans, who were relentless all game and left Lumen Field with a 30-24 win under then head coach Steve Wilks. The Panthers mounted a rushing attack that garnered 223 yards, including 74 from Chuba Hubbard. And the team's 2 rushing touchdowns came from Chuba Hubbard and Raheem Blackshear. Now Sam Darnold, quarterback at the time, 14 of 22 for 120 yards in the air. And Shaq Thompson, who's now out on IR, led the team with 9 tackles, a half sack, and a QB hit. J.C. Horn, also out, had 6 tackles and an interception. But Marquise Haynes and Frankie Louvu were the biggest contributors on QB sacks. Many thought it would be the beginning of something big for the Panthers, but the team fell short of capturing the division, which eventually led to where we are today, with Frank Reich piloting the new era of Carolina Panthers football. Now, with the Carolina Panthers defense dinged up, J.C. Horn now on IR, Shaq Thompson out, causes some problems. One of the problems at cornerback, C.J. Henderson will have to solve those. He'll have to fill some very big shoes with Horn being out. And after him, Troy Hill will be expected to get some time. And with Thompson out of the lineup, Kamu Grugier-Hill will be expected to give more of what he gave during the Saints. He had 6 tackles and he had a sack. So look to see a lot more of him today. And if Brian Burns is his usual self, it'll be a long afternoon for Geno Smith. Burns with 39.5 sacks needs 2.5 sacks today to pass Kevin Green with 41.5 for 5th all-time in Panther history. And they'll also need a stellar performance from Frankie Louvu, who performed very well against the Saints. He is now the Panthers' sack leader with 2.5 sacks on the season. Frankie Louvu, 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for loss in that Saints loss a week ago. Now, as everyone knows, you don't get wins in the NFL unless you play well through all 3 phases of football: offense, defense, and special teams. Sam Franklin has been a big contributor to the special teams here with the Carolina Panthers this year. Let's take a look at what makes Sam tick.
Every practice is the same for me. I come in, try to be more consistent. That's my biggest thing, and every day just being consistent, showing growth, fixing the things that I messed up on the day before and try not to repeat those things. So every day I just come in with the mindset of being consistent and taking like a step closer to being perfect, even though like it's never gonna happen, but that's what we're shooting for, perfect. It's a lot, it put a lot on my plate. And, I just don't want to let down the coaches and my teammates. So I just try to prepare as well as I can for every game. And then I also just try to make sure that I show that I'm valuable to the team. So I just take whatever steps is needed, late nights, early mornings, I'm a little bit of a funny guy, I joke around a lot, I'm kind of like the guy everybody likes to joke around with, whether it's me getting a joke on or me just making a joke with them. It's all love with me. I'm one of the guys that a lot of people can just come to and say pretty much anything to it. I'm gonna be cool with it. I'm not gonna look at you in this type of way. That's really how I try to be. I just try to be consistent and try to be the same person for everybody every day in and day out, because I never know who needs my energy. Like Dante says, you never know who needs your energy. So I'm close to a lot of guys. I'm not going to just say one guy. Like Timo on the offensive side, he's one of my close friends. You know, we hang out from time to time outside. You'll catch me with Shaq. You'll catch me with DJ. It's a good feeling to know that I have the trust of my teammates. That's the biggest thing, and the trust of my coaches. And the outside is going to be what it is. One day they like you, one day they don't. So, I mean, it's great to hear it, but at the end of the day, the only thing I worry about is making sure that my teammates and my coaches can trust me. I pick everybody's brain. I pick everybody's brain. I didn't know how they think and how they lasting so long. Timo is a great guy to talk to. He plays in almost every game. You seldomly see him hurt. Shaq is a smart guy. He makes plays before they even happy. And DJ is just so mentally strong off of anything, like coming off of injuries, anything. He's just always the same guy. So, I mean, you pick a brain with anybody, I'm willing to listen. Probably one of my basketball coaches is named BJ Flash. He was a great mentor. He used to pick me and my cousin up, take us to basketball practice. He took us to state championship games. You know, just showing us a little bit more than what it was, you know, just always keeping us on our toes, putting us around better competition, and just telling us, like, it's okay to be great where you at, but in order to be the best, you got to be the best everywhere.
Hey, 10 toes, I'ma never miss.
Sure, as long as if we get to the playoffs, then that's a great season. I'm not really a big stats guy. I come in and I try to just dominate any way I can. So it really doesn't really matter about the stats. I'm all about winning. That's what I love to do. I like to win. I don't play football for no accolades. The only accolade I care about is being a champion. And that's the only thing that matters to me.
Running it back, running it back, running it back. Running it back, running it back. And that's running it back, running it back, running it back.
All right, so let's turn the page to the Seahawks today. Geno Smith, 72% completion rate this year. He'll be looking to go downfield a lot. They'll have to keep him on his heels today. Brian Burns will be expected to come up big time. Justin Houston, Frankie Louvu, that three-pronged attack from that pass rush will definitely be needed to keep him moving around and getting him off his game today. Wide receiver DK Metcalf is questionable with sore ribs. So with Metcalf possibly out of the picture, Tyler Lockett, who had 2 TDs last week, will be a top option for Geno Smith. Now some other notes on the Seahawks. Offensive tackle Charles Cross ruled out. Defensive back Kobe Bryant also ruled out. Cornerback Tariq Woolen is doubtful. And safety Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, and Julian Love questionable for today's game. Expect a lot of downfield passes from Andy Dalton. This is the opportunity that the Panthers have likely been waiting for all season to really open up their passing game. So look for that to happen today. The weather is pretty clear out today, so no rain to damper those long passing attempts. The Carolina Panthers cannot drive to a victory unless they have the keys to the game. So what are those keys? They have to get a fast start on offense. This is a very loud place. The fans are basically, as they say, the 12th man, and they play a huge role in keeping offenses off of their game. So the Panthers will have to contend with that today, especially with those rookies on their front line. And then there's the passing game for the Carolina Panthers. They'll have to go downfield a lot more often than they have been. And key number 3, limit Geno Smith. He's good in the pocket. He's good on his feet. So they'll have a tough job trying to contain him today. But if they can get that done with Brian Burns, Justin Houston on the other side, that will give the Panthers their best chance at a win today. Now, this wouldn't be a true Carolina Pro Football Report if we didn't get out in the Seattle community to let you know where is the best place or one of the best places on the road for Carolina Panther fans to go and get a bite to eat. So this week we went to Ray's Boathouse here in Seattle. It's an iconic place. It's been there for over 50 years, serving up some of the best seafood on the West Coast. We got a chance to try them out. It was amazing. Here's a look at Ray's Boathouse.
Welcome to Ray's Boathouse, celebrating 50 years here on Show Bay. Ray Lightenberger first moved here in 1939. It was mostly a boat rental place for fishermen. Ballard at the time was a quiet little fishing village, and now it's part of Seattle. And in 1973, the present owners purchased the property from Ray's and opened Ray's Boathouse as you know it today. Here at Ray's, we try to find the finest Northwest seafood we can attain and then prepare it simply to make sure the flavors come through. A couple of our signature dishes that really says Ray's is one, our grilled king salmon that we get fresh, grill up simply with just a little lemon beurre blanc, fresh Washington asparagus. Another is our sable fish. Another name for it is butterfish because it just melts in your mouth. It comes from the local waters, and we just grill that up with a little bok choy and rice and a touch of soy. It's fantastic. So we're up here in the cafe kitchen. Yeah, we stay pretty busy all the time up here. We're open lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. And for those of you that don't want to eat seafood at every meal, we do offer a couple of steak options, and one being our ribeye steak that's grilled on an open flame grill, served with mashed potatoes and grilled broccolini, and topped with a port wine sauce. So it's pretty fantastic as well. So this is our fish and chips. We use Alaskan true cod, just lightly panko breading, deep fried to a golden brown, served with our homemade tartar sauce, coleslaw, and ketchup. And one of the best ways to start a meal at Ray's is with our fresh oysters. Shuck to order on the half shell. Puget Sound produces some of the finest oysters in the world, and they come right out of these waters, right to your plate. We also have the best clams, mussels, and also crab cakes that come right from the local waters. Yeah, we're up here in the cafe bar. It's a great place to come after the game. We even welcome Panther fans anytime. We've got 10 local beers on draft, handcrafted shaken cocktails, and the best view in the city. So it's a great spot to come hang out, watch Sunday Night Football, and all the highlights from today's games. As you can see behind me, we've got a nice sized dining room with plenty of room for everyone, so come on down. Every seat's got a great view, plenty of room for everyone. I would definitely say that Ray's is a seafood lover's paradise. Everything on the menu is fantastic from start to finish, from the oysters to the crab cakes to the salmon. So if you're a lover of fresh seafood, this is definitely the place in Seattle you want to visit. So that's Ray's Boathouse. So Seattle's most iconic seafood restaurant. Come on down, whether you win or lose, celebrate or drown your sorrows. But you can do it all with this fabulous view.
Well, that'll wrap up this edition of the Carolina Pro Football Report on ADSN. Be sure to log on to ADSN1.com and 730 The Game for all of your Carolina Panthers news, notes, and updates and player features. We'll see you after the game.